know you have to leave, so we'll hurry up with your bit. This Hong Kong Social is focused on Social Media Week. As you might know, we were actually born out of Social Media Week last year. So we're all terribly engaged in it this year as well, some of us to the point of sleep deprivation. And we have some of Social Media Week's biggest stars with us today, so I'd like to hand this over to Sarah Woodhouse. She runs Conan Wolf Impact Asia. And Sarah, tell us a bit about why Social Media Week is so important, why everyone should be there.
Well, this is a real opportunity for the city to show the rest of the world what it's up to in both the social media and the mobile side. So it's a real chance to get your work out there, to engage with other digerati, and to take part in a global conversation, because we're not the only city that's running Social Media Week. There's about another 13 or 14 cities that will be doing this at the same time. We were the first city to do this in Asia. Singapore's also joined the ranks this year, and obviously we hope that that will extend into the rest of Asia as years go by. But I think it's fair to say from conversations with the global crew at Social Media Week that Hong Kong is one of the most active cities. Its people, its social media community is one of the most engaged. And maybe historically there's been the impression that Hong Kong is not a centre or a place for social media or sort of driving trends, but obviously Social Media Week and Hong Kong Social is about changing those perceptions.
All right, thank you so much. So we hope that we'll see all of you here. Here you can see that this is how you register for events and so on. I've already bought my tickets, so hope to see some of you there. Yeah. It starts on the 13th and goes all week, chock full of events. Yeah. So it should be fun.
I'd just love to do a massive registration push. We're live now, we're taking registrations, ticket prices are incredibly reasonable, so please retweet, support us in getting the word out to the community, bring people in that perhaps haven't thought about coming along to something like this before, and just help us put it on the map and become one of the most prolific social media weeks across the world. Thank you.
Seriously, don't delay on these. A lot of these events are amazing, and they are going to sell out really fast. I hope that we can get all of our HKSocial members, all of you in as early as we can, so that you guys don't miss out on any of these sort of great events. Please check the calendar and register today, because they are going to start pushing this to the masses. They already have started, and we definitely want to get you guys in there first.
Yeah, you're not the bosses, obviously.
Great.
Thank you, Sarah.
Right, I'm so sorry to have to run off, but I've got a meeting.
Thank you. Thanks. Do we have the schedule page?
Do you want to invite everybody else on?
Yeah, sure. Bess, would you join us, please, on stage? Also Cedric, and I haven't met you yet, forgive me. Please
come on up, Cedric,
come up here as well, and our very own Jocelyn as well. We have put these people in the spotlight to tell us a bit more about what they're going to be up to during Social Media Week. And we can go into what all of you are doing, but first, this is the schedule of events. You can see it's going to be a very, very busy week. And all of these guys here are hosting events themselves. So it should be fun. And one of the first events is Bess's Twitter feeding event, which is wonderful. I'm sure people are wondering what on earth Twitter feeding is. I've been at one of your early ones, so I know, but I'll let you tell us.
Cool.
That?
Hey guys, so tell me who's a TEDster or a TEDxer? Fans of TED? Because some of you may have heard of TED Active, which is actually something that's a global phenomenon where they take people globally who are innovators and collect them, and it's about turning ideas into action. So something that was born out of TED Active in 2011 was something called Twitter feeding. And essentially the catchphrase is a meeting, eating and tweeting and meeting somewhere, and eating and tweeting meeting of the minds. And so what we do is we take a cross section of people, a bit like the best way to describe it is a Trivial Pursuit, how you have the different colours, different sections of the community come together and sit at a table. And the way that we involve social media is we have modern day stenographers, actually called designated tweeters, who will tweet the conversation while people are talking. And the conversations and topics are predetermined by the Twitterverse, and we put it out there, and we will be launching today, encouraging HKSocial especially to share their thoughts about positive change and social media for good, and what it is that you might like to see being spoken about. And then the stenographers or the designated tweeters will tweet out the conversation. And we did a little trial run with HKSocial leadership a few months ago, and we went as far as Sao Paulo, I think. And some really interesting thing comes out of that. So we would love to involve you guys out in the world with that one. So stay tuned.
And to sort of tuck this back into the sort of a business sense, even something as fun as sitting around talking about the issues of the day has a lot of impact for a lot of different organizations in town. Some of you, we've got quite a few people here with NGOs. If you are looking for people who are really passionate about causes, listening to the conversations that come out of something like Twitter feeding will help you really identify a lot of really interesting people you might want to bring into your community. A lot of social media isn't about broadcasting, it is about listening to those conversations that are going on. The same, we know that a lot of the corporate social responsibility programs out there are trying to figure out where to best put their money. Most of them aren't really listening to their customers and seeing what their customers are at, something like a Twitter feeding. What are the issues they're talking about? Where do they want to put that money? So there's definitely direct business related issues to something that seems really kind of light and fluffy.
And yes, that's right. It's not just light and fluffy. It's serious play. And if I can just do a shout out as well to Feeding HK, that's going to be the charity that we are going to be revolving around. So we're going to be asking the guests to contribute by bringing cans, and that will be one of the conversations that we'll sneak into it. But we really encourage you guys to challenge our dinner guests, and we'll introduce those when we go live at Twitter Feeding on Monday the 30th. And we'd love to encourage you to involve you guys in suggesting some of the topics that we can talk about.
All right, thank you, Beth.
Thank you.
Hashtag.
That number
you
again.
Actually note this down, because unfortunately what happens is whenever there's food, these events get booked out very quickly. So not all of us will be able to be there, but we will follow along.
We would love you guys to follow wherever you are. In a taxi, MTR, at another gig, just quick little retweets and, ooh, what's going on there would be phenomenal. We'll see how far we can take it globally this time.
Wonderful. Well, there's a lot of other things going on the 13th as well. Jay, would you like to go into that?
Right. This is an event run by a friend of HKSocial, Casey Lau, who was here a few months back, talking to us about blogging. He's also quite involved with the startup scene here in Hong Kong, and they're doing a genuine pitch night. They're going to have a bunch of startups come in, very sort of Dragon's Den style, or I think they're calling it Shark Tank or something like that. And there's a bunch of judges. I think there's some money on the table, and there's I guess $5 billion one comes out. So stay tuned. I will be at many of these events, live streaming and tweeting, and we'll see what comes out of pitch night.
All right, that sounds like a lot of fun. So Justin, do you want to be next? Tell us a bit more about the serious side of Social Media Week.
Yeah, sure. So I know there are quite a lot of marketers in the room, some kind of beginners to social media, some who have done a bit of work in this space, but I think that there are several events that cater to all sides of the spectrum when it comes to brand marketing and social media. So a few that we wanted to pinpoint. One is Social Media for Brand Managers, which is being sponsored by Ogilvy. And then we also have social media with celebrity endorsements and social media platforms for brands. So, and there are several more too that you can check out on the schedule catered to that area.
And I've noticed since last year, the events have really increased in scope, and we have great people speaking at them, including the CEO of Groupon at one of these. I'm going to that one. Should be good. Back to the more fun things, and I always look to Beth for this. Beckoning of the Lovely. When I saw this, I really wanted to know what it was. It's happening on Valentine's Day, so tell us a bit more about it.
Yeah, but whether you're loved or you're needing love, the idea is we're kidnapping a little bit of Valentine's Day, so it can either be a compliment or a total absolute alternative, because you don't want to know about those dinners and the Hallmark cards. But the idea is taking the online world and bringing them into the offline world and connecting people in a lovely way. Now, I didn't cook this up. I've collectively and collaboratively pitched it from Chicago, where it initially started on the 8th of the 8th of the 8th, where people come together not knowing entirely what's going to happen, but knowing that there will be an element of community spirit and playfulness and cheekiness. And we are coming up with don't want to tell you too much about it, but 14 is a key element in this. There'll be 14 lovely things. We're talking about creating, connecting, and collecting. So we ask you guys to rock up, take a chance, and we miss the opportunity to connect people in a really cool way. So if you're into free hugs, it's not quite that. But if you're into the idea of, oh, I should have bought my sign today, I'll hug you. But it's not hokey, I promise, and it's not folky. But there's an intersection there, and we really want to encourage you guys to come. And what will come out of it will depend on who rocks up, as well as what we've cooked up. So, and it's really short and sharp. And then you can make your way over to Twitter World.
What is Twitter World?
This is another one of Casey's events. Casey couldn't make it this morning. He had a meeting. So I'll be doing a really bad job of pitching all his events for him. Twitter is dating plus Twitter, right? Twitter, get it? I know, it's awful. But here's the idea. We don't know how this is going to work, honestly, but we're going to have some Twitter walls up there using Twitterfall and hashtags. And what we're going to do is, for example, we'll have try to get an evenish number of men and women. Actually, hopefully get a few more ladies. And the idea is Casey will say, okay, what's everybody's favorite city? And anybody who wants to put up like a favorite city travel destination can put it up on the wall. And then we have name badges, much like we've got here. And the idea is you're supposed to try and wander around and find the person with the hashtag to a city that you think is kind of interesting. Now, I said we don't quite know how this is all going to work out. It's going to sort of combine a speed dating element where he's going to keep throwing stuff up and hashtags up and people moving around the room, and there should be alcohol involved. So please come. Anything, it'll be a fun experiment.
We take no responsibility for what happens that night.
You might fall in love.
You never know. Is this going to be Ustream, Jay, or? That would be embarrassing, wouldn't it?
What we're doing, yes, you know what happens at Twitter stays on Facebook, or wherever photos are shared these days, like Pinterest, exactly. It's also going to stay on Ustream. What we've got set up here in the front today, and we'll have at all of our HKSocial events moving forward, and what I'll be doing throughout the social media week from the many various venues, is this very sort of setup where we're going to be running a few cameras and we're going to try and keep everybody in the loop. There's some really great social feed built into the software where I can sit there with Matthew's help and we can tweet and talk to people about what's going on at the various events. So even if you can't make it, this will be the next best thing. Of course, these are just webcams. By no means as good as being there in person, but if you can't make it in person, it will be the next best thing. You can find us, just as you can today, it will be j.mp/HKSocial Live. There's the really long one, if you want to hold that down as well, and we will be all over the place, so please keep an eye out.
Cool. Well, it should be fun. Dawson, there's also a how-to series I noticed in the schedule. Would you like to tell us a bit more about that?
That's right. We do have, this is something that we had last year as well, but I think we've got a lot of great topics kind of packed into one segment. I believe, is this on the Wednesday? That's correct. Okay, Marianne's nodding, so I know that's right. But this is a great way if you are a beginner or you're really just looking to explore these topics and really make sure you're covering all your bases and meet other people who are interested in these areas. We've got how to build a social network from scratch, how to create a successful social media competition, which I think is always a good ongoing conversation. And then finally, how to create Facebook ads for branding and collection on a deadline. And I believe this is one being done by Digital Butter, and it involves taking shots on every 10 minutes or something like that. So it's going to be quite an interesting one that evening, kind of challenging themselves and both creating Facebook ads.
I just don't know how to create one at all, whether on a deadline or not, so that's very interesting.
They're going to be coding and drinking, just like the social network.
Right. Reflection of the industry. What about this iFanatics 101? Is that a Casey event as well?
Yes, yeah. That is another Casey event, which he shared some information with us to talk about today. But Casey leads iFanatics, which is a group of iPhone, Apple, all the I's fanatics in Hong Kong. And this is going to be taking place very aptly from the Apple Store in IFC. So he's going to be highlighting the kind of top 10 social media apps for iPhones. And if anyone knows Casey Lau or follows him on Twitter at HyperCasey, you'll know that this is really one of his areas of expertise. So definitely a good one to take part in there.
All right, great. What else have we got there on the list? Let's see. Is there anything else with an I? iPhones, iPhonography?
Oh,
Is that a next thing? Oh, Socializer. What is Socializer?
Yes, well, I'm very excited to share this today. This is something that we've been building at TBWA because after taking part in Social Media Week last year, we really wanted to try and build something that could help connect all the many, many conversations that are taking place around Social Media Week Hong Kong generally and within each of the events. So what we've built and will be launching next week is a web-based Twitter and Weibo conversation tracker. So what this does is it allows people to go onto browsers on their laptop, on their mobile, or on their iPad and search for events in their interest area. So what you'll see, this is just kind of a sneak peek as to what it will look like, but we will have all the categories of all the different events broken down here with different bubbles kind of representing the level of buzz taking place in each category. And you'll be able to go in, see which events are within each area of interest and see how much buzz is happening at each one of those individual events. And then you'll be able to see all the Twitter and all the Weibo posts kind of within one easy and visual and fun user interface. So yeah, stay tuned for more updates from us on this next week as to how you can access it and better connect with everyone during Social Media Week.
All right, thank you, Jocelyn. Do you want to say a few more words on whatever is next?
Iconography. I think Casey set the record for the most number of events any single person has committed to. I will be doing a daily wrap every day, but it's nowhere near the scope, I think, that Casey's undertaken. Of course, you can see they all have a very similar theme to them. This will, in addition to the smartphone app stuff, as we've seen with things like Pinterest, the massive growth in Instagram, even the way that both G+ and Facebook and even Twitter now have all added photo sharing capabilities. Sharing photos is a massive part of social today. And the phone is our #1 camera that we all use, most of us anyways. So Casey, being very good actually at taking Instagram pictures and making us all look very cool. I know many of you in the room have had photos taken by him, and you all look better for it. So anyways, if you too want to learn how to make your friends look awesome and cool, or even yourself, he takes a lot of pictures of himself, which is a bit worrying. God, I wish he was here.
He's taking photos of
I hope he's watching. Yes, you will learn all the secrets from the master.
Secrets from the master. Cedric, it's your turn to go. Secrets from the master. Cedric runs Shop des Créateurs. Tell me a bit
Hi
more
everyone,
about that.
I can see a few new faces today, so I'll just say a few words about myself. I run an online marketing and sales agency for emerging fashion designers. So if you're into fashion as an individual or as a professional, there's one event you don't want to miss. It's here, 8 a.m. Sorry, it's Thursday, 16th, and I've gathered a few marketing experts from Hong Kong, new media, bloggers. Jasmine Webster would be one of our panelists. Someone from Hell as well, and a top emerging designers in Hong Kong. And we will be discussing about the value of social media for small brands and emerging designers. Is this just worth their time spending time on Pinterest, for instance? So yeah, I hope to see you there. Bye.
Wonderful, thank you very much. Do we have any other fashion-related events during Social Media Week? Yes, Karen? At Harbour City, where Karen Tam is from. I say that as if it's your home.
Anybody who's ever gotten lost in Harbour City knows it's like a whole city. So. Do you want to tell us what's happening?
Would you like to tell us a bit more?
Tag team, hot seat.
Go get right.
Okay. Here. So for this year, Harbour City will be hosting 4 events altogether. One is in conjunction with Rudy from Agenda, that he has invited a couple of geeks that's going to speak in his special session on gadgets. And then for the 3 that Harbour City hosted, each of them, we try our best to invite people from other parts of the world to come over to talk to us. The one on fashion, we've invited the blind boy in China, that is Peng Huo. If you haven't met him in person, do come. He's the one that's been taking a lot of snapshots in all the fashion weeks in Europe and in the States. I think he's the only Chinese that's been taken pictures of. And he will come and talk to us about his journey from a media person. He used to work for HKSocial, and then how he turned himself into a style icon and to such a successful person right now. I think he's still something like the #1 or 2 in the mainland. Worth meeting him in person. He's a cool personality. And then together with Hang, we will also be having another interesting guy called Lin Jian. Lin used to be in the media talking a lot about fashion, but he has also in a way transformed, and now he works the traditional and also the new media. So these 2 people will be really interesting for people to meet them. And then we also have WGSN, which is a very cool trend site, which if you have to subscribe to it, it costs you a lot of money. But all brands around the world subscribe to them annually. So the head of content for WGSN will also be speaking with us. And then this year we are very happy to have 2 brands that's coming to talk to us as well. One is MCM, a high-end luxury brand, and we also have Benefit and also Eugene from H2O to come and talk to us as well, and of course ourselves to share a little bit of our journey. So this is the one on fashion and beauty, and we have one on travel, and we're in the process of finalizing a very interesting girls blogger from Taiwan called PK Girls, and they usually take pictures when they sort of lie down, and there's a lot of cool pictures, but it's quite fascinating. And we also have a very interesting couple from Hong Kong called Vagabond Couple, and they backpacked for 308 days, something like around the world, and they have actually documented their whole story online and also recently published a book. So they'll be coming as well. We will probably have people from Taiwan, one of the Taiwan Tourism Board coming in as well. And we will have Hong Kong Disneyland sharing their story. So we do have a couple of interesting people. And then for the food one, which I think everybody likes to take pictures about food, we invited Lady Iron Chef. If you follow him on Twitter, he's very active. I think he's also a very influential food blogger in Singapore. He'll be coming in to share his experience. He just got something like the best food blog from Nuff Nang Award just last December. So hot off the press. And also we have Victoria Zhang, who is also something like, she's in high society. She's also speaking for us as well. We will have Gregoire, head pastry chef from Four Seasons, coming in to share his personal story. We will have Jeffrey Wu, who is taking care of, he used to take care of Pura, and then Mandarin Oriental, and now he's with very successful food outlets like Linguini Fini and Postal Public. So a lot of these people will be coming to share their experience. So all these events, the 4 of them, they will take place in Harbour City. And if you come, we will also be sharing some food and drinks with you as well. So hopefully we can have some fun enjoying what we have prepared.
Thank you so much. Sounds great. Which brings us to Friday, which is not at Harbour City, is it? No. What's on Friday? Oh, back at Pure. Thank you, Pure, for hosting all this. Tell us, Jocelyn, this is your event, and I'm coming to this one as well. Great.
Oh, yes. This is another event that we're running that Friday morning, which basically looks at the idea of nonprofits spending on social media. And it will be a debate looking at the merits and advantages and disadvantages of measuring social media ROI as a nonprofit and how you justify that to board members and sponsors and how that whole process works, because it's a really growing area of interest not only, well, globally and especially here in Hong Kong, I think. So we'll have a kind of structured debate format where we'll have two teams debating both sides of the issue. And then, of course, we'll take it to Twitter and Sina Weibo to determine the winner at the end of the day. So I think it'll be a fun session, and anyone who's interested in nonprofits and the use of social media for social good should definitely come and take part.
Sounds great. Actually, I met Bess at one of these social good type events at the last social media week. So you meet cool people there. And this is, I suppose, this is the last thing that's happening for Social Media Week. Is anyone going to have any energy left by the time these events are done? 7 p.m. on the 17th?
And then right after that...
And, wow, one more thing.
That's the last thing.
That's the last thing. This is never ending, but it'll be great. Jocelyn, do you know more about this to tell us?
Well, I know this will be the official wrap party of Social Media Week, which will be taking place at Key Club that night, on Friday night, the 17th. And DJ Greg Wilson is pulling together a bunch of like the best, like collaboratively mixed music.
Top 20 remixers.
Yeah, top 20 remixers. Yes, thank you.
By DG Magazine.
So if you're not totally burnt out, or
maybe Elle knows more about.
Yeah.
No, after you.
Oh, okay. Yeah, if you're not totally burnt out and just want to unwind after a crazy and exciting week of social media knowledge soaking up, this will be a good way to do that.
Elle, you have something?
Oh, you want to say something?
So I just want to add a few points. Back to, this one. We might, Nokia sponsored this party, so we might have some latest Nokia Lumia phones, which you can't get in the market now. And we're going to give out some awards, so be sure to share, to check in, to write blogs, to post anything during Social Media Week, because we might just be the winner. And back to Fashion Mixer from Butterboom. So this is basically, I'm not Casey's personal assistant, but I do think he has a love and hate relationship with Jay, and I don't know the story behind that. But I just want to talk about Casey's events because they're actually very interesting. So this one, they're going to bring fashion bloggers, which I can see some here, and also some fashion brands. So they're going to have answer some questions relating to fashion, and also the audience can participate. So they have no access to internet or mobile phones, so audience can listen to the question and Google it and answer it on Twitter, on Sina Weibo, anything you want to do, and then they can pick the answer they think is correct from the Twitter feed or anything they see on the big screen we're going to have during the event. And also startup pitch night, right, on the 13th. Casey's event, if you want to find out the next Pinterest, Instagram, Vidi, anything, you can go to that one. And also, what other events? Oh, iFanatics. Casey might also bring a sheep to Apple Store, because according to him, you can bring anything to Apple Stores. And with Casey, you never know what's going to happen. Yeah. And what else? What else is Casey's event? Oh, Twitter. Okay.
Thank you so much, Elle. So I suggest that everyone take a look at the schedule online. I know it's a lot of information to digest. See what events are of interest to you. They should all be really cool. And buy tickets quickly because they're getting sold out. So thank you so much for being here. I think that's all for today, isn't it?
Yeah. As always, one last thing. Please, as you go back to your normal and scheduled routine today, make time to stop by the meetup.com/HKSocial site. If you've had a good time this morning, if you've learned anything, if you've made any contacts, referrals, cool new friends, please drop us a review. As always, we're only accepting 5-star reviews. So please do stop by, put the reviews up. They're really a big help for us attracting more members. We'd really appreciate that. Thank you all very much for coming today. Big round of applause for everybody.
Pure, as usual, for hosting us.
Yay, Pure! Buy more coffee. Stick around. Thank you, Matthew.
Thanks, guys. See you during Social Media Week. Class dismissed. Thanks,
Great job. Can you see most of them?